talk about it right here. We gonna talk about everything you like. I'ma make it real clear. It's Tynee Talks right here. We gonna talk about it right here. I'ma talk about everything you like. I'ma make it real clear, cause it's Tynee Talks. And I'ma talk about it. Yeah, cause it's Zaneta Talks. And I'ma talk about it. And welcome to the Tynee Talks podcast, the podcast that educates and entertains, the podcast where you come to laugh and learn. I am your host, Tynee Talks, and today we're doing something special. But before I get into that, I will be remiss without mentioning today's show sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by 810 Taco Seasoning, packed with 9 powerful flavors and low in sodium. Remember, 810 Tacos are made for tacos, but delicious on everything. I had a brain freeze. Right. The creator of 810 Tacos is here today to interview me. I'm being interviewed on my own podcast. We're doing a reverse podcast. I didn't even know what a reverse podcast was. But Zaneta Chuniq Inpower reached out to me and was like, you ever thought about doing a reverse podcast? And I was like, I never thought of it because I never knew what it was. And she explained to me what it was. So here we are. So
well, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. And I think that as a concept, our listeners knowing more about you, the story behind Tynee, and I know that you tell your story all the time through each of your interviews, but I'm really excited for us to have a conversation, to hear Tynee talks about some of the topics that I have. I think it's going to be fun. You and I have come a long way.
Maybe a mighty long way.
Okay. So this is awesome. I'm really excited. So let's get into it.
I'm so nervous, low key, because I'm like, what has she conjured up?
I mean, we're really just having a conversation, right? Because that is what all of, our content has been about, just having conversations, being real, and just making space for each other's knowledge, opinions, perspectives. So I think it's going to be good. I mean, you're a star, you're a gem. To me, you're Flint's finest, okay? You are. No matter what anybody says.
You're Flint's finest, for sure. No matter, Flint, everyone knows this is so important to me. No matter where I go, that's something that I have to represent because, as they say, Flint made me. So that's just it's etched in my heart, in my spirit.
And that is amazing. You are so Flint to me, and I love that. And you have this deep love for the city from not just your heritage, but also your support, supporting other Black businesses from Flint, all the way down to your very Black wedding reception. I love that
it was so Black.
It was so Black. But tell us more about that, because some of your listeners are outside of Flint and are still learning about Flint and its history per se. But what does Flint mean to you exactly? Why is it a city and space that's so close to your heart?
Flint is so, well, you said it's my lineage, it's my heritage. That's where I was born and that's where I was raised. That's where I was cultivated to have my strong opinions. Even though, so historically, my family comes from the East Coast. My grandmother is from Pennsylvania. And then basically that whole side relocated to Flint because it was booming at the time with GM. And so just to know that history, like Flint was rich and vibrant and it attracted hardworking working class people. My family are hardworking working class folk. They keep a job, they stay with a job, they're gonna find a way to make it work. And that is the essence of Flint. They're going to always find a way to make a way out of no way. And I always tell people I got that grit in me. They always say, there's a slogan that says built Flint tough. And I'm so built Flint tough. Like I got thick skin. You can't get nothing over me or past me. Even if you think that you are, I know what's what. And that's the grit and the resilience and the toughness of Flint. Also, just knowing the heritage of Flint, like the sit down strikes and forming unions and standing up for what you believe in and fighting for others. Like that's ingrained in the fabric of Flint, and that's ingrained in the fabric of me. I'm always, anybody who's ever worked with me know that I'm going to stand up for something that I think is crazy. Or like in any minor injustice. I've been doing this since elementary school. Like if I felt the teacher was being unfair, we need to have a conversation about this. If I felt you
Right.
was doing something wrong to my friends, whether you were a peer or not, okay, we need to have a conversation about this. And so, that's the Flint in me.
I love that. I love that. And so you have a lot of fond memories about your childhood in Flint. And so tell us, to me, you're like a Flint historian. If I ever need to know anything, I'm going to run it by you because I know that you know, and you have someone that I can talk to if you don't know. So what's your favorite Flint memory? Like if you can pick your top Flint memories, for me, I think about summer pro-am. Like summer pro-am was
Yeah.
always fun to wash your car up, going over there. We may or may not even go into the game, but it was just such a cool
Parking lot
experience.
pimping.
Yes, see everybody in one place. I love that. So, what are some of your favorite Flint memories?
Oh my God, you brought up pro am. I'm like, I remember like getting a fresh flat iron to put on a cute out. So it was summertime. So you're gonna put on your shortest of shorts,
Okay.
your cutest of top, your best sandals or your best kicks, your
Yes.
lip gloss. But the girls weren't into makeup like that. But the lip
No,
gloss had to be popping and the
you
hair
had
had
to.
to be laid. Okay.
Okay.
So that's a memory like pro am. And for y'all who don't know what pro am is, that's like when professionals and amateurs trying to get in the pro leagues, and those who are already in the pro leagues, they come and play basketball in the summer because Flint is a basketball town. So we have bred to the new kids on the block: Kyle Kuzma, Glenn Rice, Mateen Cleves, Mo Pete, Charlie Bell. The Flintstones, as they're affectionately known. Dre Rice, just that he's
Mm-hmm.
played overseas. Just so many. Oh, Kelvin Tolbert, Kellen
Mm-hmm.
Brandon. Like all these people are like hoop stars, hoop
Yep.
legends. Marty Embry, all those people. So like going to the pro am was like going to an NBA game. So that's a fine memory. Going to the city basketball game. So Flint had four main high schools. You probably heard me talk about it: Flint Central, Flint Northwestern, Flint Southwestern, and Flint Northwestern. And they used to have what were called double headers at our sports arena. It was called the IMA Sports Arena. And then
Yep.
it went to Dort Federal. It's something, but it will
Dorm
always
Federal
be the
Event Center
IMA.
is the IMA for sure.
It's going to be the IMA to the end of time. It's on Lapeer Road on the south side of Flint. And that's where the doubleheader basketball games was. So, again, you got to put on your freshest
You had to
outfit.
be there. What? I'm going to the valley. We have to go to the mall. Yes, because I'm about to do some laps around this arena
Because you
during
got to walk
halftime.
around to be seen, of course.
Definitely getting popcorn, going to the bathroom. No,
Because you want to get hollered at. Like the
that was
dudes,
our Instagram.
that
That's
was.
how we were being seen in real life. See me, I'm at the game.
I'm
I'm
at
in
the
line.
game, and
I'm here.
everybody who is anybody is going to be at the game. And when we
Be
say
there.
the game, it's any game: football, basketball, but specifically at the IMA, it's going to be a basketball game. She said it's our Instagram, right? Because you got to be seen in your freshest outfit. I was a cheerleader. So my uniform was the cheerleader outfit, and every girl, at least that was always my dream as a child. Like I got to grow up and be a cheerleader like Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell and Lark Lisa Turtle. So it was like my dream to be a cheerleader, and I became one. So the energy of the IMA, like the smell of popcorn, the smell of Kogels burning. That's hot dogs for y'all don't know. We Flint, so we gonna eat Kogels. Uh, just the excitement of your rival team there, and you got to have a cheer battle, and your cheer sisters are your gang against the other cheerleaders. So we were Bring It On before it was Bring It On.
It's
And
already been brought
it
in.
was already been
Okay.
brought. Okay. So that was really fun. Zaneta and I were both a part of the ACATS Teen Club. And
Okay.
so the teen clubs were sponsored by the Divine Nine or the National Panhellenic Council, where they had teen groups where they mentored young ladies, and you had to have a high scholastic average. So you couldn't be you could not be not smart and be in it. You know, you had to have the grades, and it taught us etiquette and how to be a lady. But it also taught us how to step. And we had a step show, a December step show, and a June step show. One during Christmas break, and then we had a step show during when school got out. And
Yep.
again, you had to be anybody who was anybody.
So, which step show? Are there any step shows that you'll never forget?
You already know, Z. When we when we had on those,
The
well, it was
jerseys
two
and the
different step
boots.
shows. But this
Okay.
was like your sophomore year, my senior year of high school. When we had the airbrush baseball jerseys, the Timberland boots airbrush that had ACATs and your name on the side. No, I think that was your freshman year we did that. That was your freshman year. One
But
of
I
those.
really want to put it on the record, the creative vision for this. Who gave us that inspiration?
Who gave us the inspiration
Who
to
came up
want
with those outfits? Because those are the most iconic A-Cat step show outfits ever. The boots, the airbrushed boots. Come on.
the airbrush? I don't know who gave the idea, but we had some heavy hitters on the ACATs, y'all. Y'all know
A-Cats is
some of these
fun.
people to this day. Aisha Howard is a news anchor in Atlanta. She was an ACAT. She was on in that iconic show. Shar Bates, who is a national black activist, was in this step show. Stacy Cheney, beautiful green-eyed bandit. Kelly Truesdale, me, Zaneta, Kendra Cochran. Like we was Tiffany Wells, like Maisha Peoples. Like
I was
these
just
are
gonna
people,
say Maisha. Yep.
these are influencers that you may have seen or that you know, like they were on that iconic step team where we wore the airbrush.
I'm always thankful because I barely made it. Okay, I was barely making it. Tanae, please show me one more time.
So like I'm an easy learner. So if I'm gonna learn the step and then I gotta show everybody else, because I'm gonna take you, I'm not gonna get annoyed with you. I'm gonna just take you through the steps so you can get it. And then another iconic step show was when we had those Aeropostale shirts in pink and green that had
Yes.
our names on them.
Yep.
And we said, I don't want to grow up because if I did, I wouldn't be a pink and green kid.
That
And we killed it.
that is iconic. I cannot tell you how many times Bertha pulled me to the side and told me this was my last chance. Please, please work with
Shout
me.
out to Bertha.
Shout out to
I think
Bertha.
Bertha came up with the idea of the boots and the jersey because she was very a fashionable
Hmm.
lady, you know, and she was serious business. So I can imagine she pulled you over to the side.
Yeah, it's all right, but that's sisterhood. That is sisterhood. And that is why I, again, always want to give you flowers because look at that, through different journeys and stages of life. I think that you have always exhibited this high aptitude for sisterhood and making spaces for women and having this show and bringing on so many different strong leaders throughout your time with Tynee Talks. So, you know, again, and keeping with the topic of Flint, with such fond memories, what do you want Flint to be in the future? What do you envision the future of Flint to be? In many cities, there's gentrification, there's a shift of people coming home from large cities and going back to small towns and making them to be better places. But how do we bring the past and the future of Flint together into something new?
Wow, that's such a loaded question. Gentrification is happening everywhere. And for those who think gentrification is a good thing, it is, I don't view it as a positive thing. It erases people, it erases history, it removes people from what they've known because it prices them out. And
Mhm.
although it makes it look good, that same look could have been good if the powers that be took the time to dedicate um, resources to those areas.
Yep.
And oftentimes we blame the people for the rundownness of an area, but it's like not the people. You make them lose hope when you don't take the time to invest in what they got going on, to invest in that part of the town by keeping up the grass, keeping up the abandoned homes and things of that nature. So I want to start with there, that it erases people and it pushes people out. What I would like to see for Flint is not, it will never be what it was when I was growing up. But that doesn't have to be a negative. That could be also a positive, because there's so many entrepreneurs in Flint and just new businesses, skincare lines, beauty, accessories, health, food, all these nail shops, all these different business and ventures with women and men that I know that I've grown up with, starting these businesses. So there is time for growth and innovation in Flint, and I love it. I just don't want the some of the people from a lower economic socioeconomic position to be left out of the fray for what's coming forward, because they are equally as important, just because they may not have the money or the finances. And we just can't always spit out financial literacy, like we love to spew it out. Oh, they just need to be educated. It's like, yes, people are educated to know that they need to pay their bills and they know what they need to do to survive. And when you're in survival mode, you just need your Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You need your basic necessities met. And those people don't need to be left out just because they don't have as much as someone else. So the future of Flint, I want vibrant parks. I want Pro-Am to come back. Amari, one of my cheer sisters, you say I always promote sisterhood. And all of the spaces that I've been in growing up, from Stepping Stones, that was a youth group when I was in elementary, and ACATS that I got to in Upward Bound, in high school, and Upward Bound, and Seats Choosing to Succeed, Wade H. McCree and Scholarship Program. All these, when I was a cheerleader, all these different things, volleyball. I accumulate sisters and I accumulate brothers, and I'm very familial, because that's how my mother was. My mother was very welcoming and very familial. And so I want to see, like I was mentioning Amari, she just got elected a new position to bring more businesses and revenue into the activities in Flint to attract more people. And she brought back the Gus Macker tournament. Again, Flint is a basketball town, so we love basketball. She brought that tournament back. So to just bring more, some of the things that we're used to back, bringing Canusa back. That's Canada, the USA. They called it Canusa Games. And that we had Flint had a partnership with Canada, taking students from Flint to Canada and Canada to Flint. And it went back and forth yearly for those. So bringing those things back.
I remember that.
We can sustain. Bringing NYSP back, which was a national youth sports program that was brought into the city so that students could get so that they could get exposed to the varying sports, from softball to swimming to tennis. I learned how to swim in the 5th grade at my community college through the National Youth Sports Program, which is NYSP. I learned how to swim because of that program. So bringing back more programs, programming for the low-income student to the high-income student. NYSP, there were students there whose parents made 6 figures. And there were students there whose parents, were right at the poverty line or below. But they could all be with each other and mess with each other and have a good time. So I hope the beautification of Flint is not just limited to one place, which is downtown. I hope the beautification of Flint is spread from the south side to the north side. I'm from the north side, so let the beautification spread to the east side, the south side, north side, the west side, every end of the city. Let programming come back, every end of the city, busing to neutral places. And the beautiful thing about NYSP, the buses will pick you up at your nearest elementary school. And then took you over to Mott Community College. And it came from all 4 areas, all east, south, west, north, to pick students up to bus them to a central location,
I love
so
that.
just things like that, that builds that youth foundation that we had. All those experiences made us to be strong, well-rounded adults And that's what I want for the youth of Flint. I don't
Yes.
know a lot of the up and coming youth that's coming through there. And when I
Mm-hmm.
was there, I was involved with the youth because I wanted to build strong leaders. So now I try to do as much as if somebody tell me to donate or tell me about something, I try to promote it
Yep.
from afar, or I try to help in a way that I best can do, because I want those students to go out and do greatness like all the kids that we knew, all those Flint kids that we know. I want them to
Yep.
be great like that.
Okay, Tynee, for mayor. Okay, I would move to Flint. I will move you to Flint and move myself to Flint because that is beautiful and that is amazing. And that is just a continued testament to your commitment to the community. You know, outside of your podcast, I know that you're very much involved in the community where you live now. So, can you tell me more about what you're involved in the Dallas area? I know that you love working with the youth. So, yeah, just enlighten us a little bit more on how that is going for you now.
Wonderful. So even though I rep Flint to the end of time, I do live in Dallas. I live in Dallas, Texas, and I love it here. I love the variety of Blacks here and the richness of culture here. And so one of the things that I started when I got here, well, a few years after I got here, was the Juneteenth bike ride, and I partnered with the Pan African Connection. Pan Africanism is important because that's just bringing people who from the African diaspora who come from all places, Jamaica, Africa, all the countries within Africa, the Caribbean, the United States. Pan Africanism is to connect all the Black people from
Yep.
everywhere. So there's a store here called the Pan African Connection, Mama Equate, and she allowed me and my husband to partner with her to bring the Juneteenth Freedom Ride. And we did that for 2 years. And now I no longer do it. Another entity has taken it over, but Tynee Talks was the initiator of that, to just bring the community together, to go bike riding. So you're getting fresh air, you're getting fitness in, and we're riding the freedom of knowing that 2 years after the slaves were free, Texans did not know that until 2 years later on June 19th. So we celebrate Juneteenth. So that's something that I brought to bring us together to celebrate that freedom. I've also volunteered here with a Black Girls Code.
Mm-hmm.
That's I didn't know about Black Girls Code until I moved to Dallas, and so they sometimes have programming here where I have volunteer with that. I work in higher education, so I see students from high school students to college age students from multi ages, from a 16-year-old all the way up to a 72-year-old. I am helping to educate people and help them have upward mobility through education so that they can have more opportunities through education. I feel like education is the gateway to more opportunities. It doesn't mean you're smarter or greater than anybody, but
Mm-hmm.
it does open you up to more opportunities. And so that's what I'm doing here in the Dallas area. I'm also active in my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, where we do a lot of things to try to alleviate hunger, try to alleviate housing and clothing insecurities and things of that nature. I've also have been certified in teen mental health, where I've gone and done workshops with the youth to help them be able to provide first mental health, first aid to their peers, and knowing how to talk to them, knowing how to recognize the signs of maybe what suicide looks like, because that's prevalent in today's youth. Social media has caused them to,
Oh wow.
not feel the
Definitely.
greatest about themselves. So they need that mental health aid tool to help them recognize it in themselves and also recognize it within others.
Tanae, that is so awesome. I'm so proud of you. I am
Thank
so
you.
proud of you. That is wonderful. And I just want to take that a little bit further and to ask, if this is a listener's first episode up to this point, what is the one thing you would want a new listener, first time? Wow, I just saw Tanae, it popped up in my algorithm. I pressed play. What would you want them to know about you?
Oh, that I love to laugh.
Okay.
That you're gonna catch me laughing, like sometimes inappropriately, like maybe I shouldn't have inserted a laugh there. And also I laugh sometimes when I'm nervous, like I have a nervous
Okay.
laugh. And if you know me, you know my nervous tick of a laugh that I'll do. And I will also want them to know that I love to be a resource to others. My
Mm-hmm.
students used to call me the plug because if anything that they wanted or thought, I knew somebody who knew something about it.
Yep.
And I was going
I
to
can agree.
connect them to it. I do that with my students. I do that with my
Mm-hmm.
peers. I do that with strangers that I've met. I've never been one to hold information. If you saw me with a cute outfit on and you said where you got that from, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to be like, I want you what I got on. Because guess what, baby, you're not going to rock it like me. And I'm
Right.
not gonna rock it like you. Shit, you might
Okay.
rock it better than me. So I'm not one to hold back resources. So if
Mm-hmm.
someone came across Tynee Talks, and I always say this is the podcast that educates and entertains because I want you to have a good time, but I want you to learn something. I want something valuable you to have a valuable takeaway from something. Like,
Yep.
oh, I never thought about it that way, or I didn't know that, or that's interesting. Like that's what I want.
Sweet. I like that. Okay. Okay, tonight, well, let's pivot and play a little game of this or that.
I love this interview, by the way. You're amazing.
Thank
They don't
y'all.
even know like how far we go back into like everything, like not just AKIDS, but like in
Yes.
media.
Come on.
And I just wanted to take this moment to like Z, because we locked in. You know what I mean? You like my little sister.
Ain't no switching up. Okay.
And but like this media journey, like we had our own radio show, and whenever she has gotten an opportunity in media, she has not left me behind in that. So when she worked for Aspire TV, or it was something else you did, but you like, if there's a way for me to like write or blog or interview, you can connect me to connections that I've established my own relationships with. I met Omar, the New York best-selling author Omar Tyree, through my work through Aspire, which I got through
Mm-hmm.
you, and now we have a relationship. He's a reoccurring Tynee Talks guest. We locked
I
in.
noticed. I love that.
But it's
He is
just,
so personable. It matches your personality so well that you all continue to have that rapport.
yeah. And he's a firecracker, you know. So,
I can
but
tell by
just
the way
like
he
that,
wrote Fly Girl.
huh?
I can tell he's a firecracker by the way he wrote Fly Girl. So every time I hear him on the show, it adds up, honey. It's evident.
Everything, and he's so Philly. He Philly down to the socks. Like how I'm Flint, he's Philly for real. You know what I mean? And that's beautiful because aside from that, people don't understand the rich culture of just America and how
Mm,
blacks in America, depending on where they've been planted, is that area is so unique. So that's why Flint is unique, or Dallas is unique, or Black Atlanta is unique. Philly is unique. And I just
mm-hmm.
watched this episode with Bomani Jones where they were talking to Black people in Utah, in Salt
Okay.
Lake City. And you would think like, who over there? But
Yeah.
it's a culture of Black folks there that stick together and do what they need to do. And they are also thriving off entrepreneurship because it's such a small of them. And like I said, just like in Flint or in a lot of areas where people are picking up entrepreneurship. That's not my ministry, but it's
It's
somebody's
rough.
ministry.
Girl,
But anyway,
entrepreneurhood is a rough hood. But no, what you said was really interesting because I just saw a tweet that mentioned how it was a tweet to a TikTok video because I'm working on TikTok. I like to get all my good TikToks through my Twitter feed. But this one was talking about how Black Americans discredit their culture and our culture that we've created here at times because we're looking to build connections historically, but also not understanding, like you said, New Orleans has a rich Black culture. It's textured and layered like many things, but it is something that we should learn to put more respect on. But you always put respect on Flint, so that's cool with me because I do the same thing. But our Black American culture is really rich, and there's so many things that people have done great things before us in those smaller cities too that we should always remember and hold to be a source of inspiration. So whenever somebody's so about their city, I love that
yeah.
because your city makes you who you are. It gives you character. It gives you it gives you layers, you know.
Yeah.
I'm in Atlanta, so when people see me and they're like, "Where are you from?" and I'm like, "Flint," they're like, "Oh, okay. Well,
They know.
okay then."
They
And
know what
don't
it
say
is.
nothing about water because I'm gonna flip the table in here.
Good and will.
And will and have, honey. But this not about me, it's about you. So we about to play this or that.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna just do a warm up, right? You know, just keep it light. Okay, so beach or pool?
The
The
beach.
beach
I
or
love
the
the
pool?
sand in my toes. I love the way sand feels.
Okay,
Like
what's your
close to
favorite
the earth.
beach?
I love that.
Do you have a favorite beach?
Um, let me see. My favorite beach. I liked Myrtle Beach. We always go to South Padre Island. Um,
Now you were looking good in Jamaica, sis. You like the Jamaican beach?
Baby, I love the Jamaican beach, but I didn't really get to enjoy it. The first day on the beach was good, and after that, the water was kind of murky, and so you couldn't they like closed it off or whatever. But yeah, I love the beach in the Dominican Republic too.
Okay.
So I don't got a favorite beach. Just beach me,
Just
please.
beach me. I like them all. All right, cool. So comedies or horror?
Comedy. I love to
Okay.
laugh.
Favorite black comedy?
My favorite black comedian.
Favorite black comedy film?
Oh, favorite black comedy film. Oh my God. I got more than one, but I'll just limit it to about five.
Okay.
Coming to America to this
Number one
day.
or number five? Let's go in order. Number one is
Coming to America.
okay.
Because
Two,
to this day, there's so many funny things. Like
very much
there's
so.
little nuanced funniness of coming to America. Like the fact that Prince when his daddy said he had sex with his wife, like his cleaners, like the cleaning lady. Like I don't know if y'all caught that, but he be having sex with the little cleaning ladies, the washer ladies. He was like, I always assumed you had sex with your bathers. I know I do.
Yeah, okay. I did catch that. Like, oh, alrighty then.
That's what I mean. It's like these little tiny things, you know what I mean? Like the McDowell's versus McDonald's, like that's genius. Okay, so I could go
Hilarious.
on and on about Coming to America, the comedy in that. The Nutty Professor, the first one,
Okay.
is just
That's number two.
comedy go, and I'm in the neighborhood of Eddie Murphy because he
Okay.
is genius on fire.
Okay.
He got all these people right now doing multiple characters. That's because of Eddie Murphy. Like
Okay.
we like not Carlton Banks on Instagram, we like Medea and Tyler Perry, but Eddie Murphy is the originator.
I
Okay.
do like Eddie Murphy a lot. Yep.
So Nutty Professor, because that's hilarious. Life, the movie Life. Again,
Okay.
Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
Uh
Number
another
four.
comedy. That's three. So I said Coming to America, Nutty Professor, Life. Uh what's the comedy movie? Oh, I'm trying to think. It's this movie with Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. Sorry. Welcome
Okay.
Home, Roscoe Jenkins is like a classic. Like Monique, Martin, Mike Epps, like all of them were so funny in that movie. And then number five would have to be it was not this Christmas, but it's another one of those black movies where it's like
Mm-hmm.
an ensemble cast, but the mom died and Danny Glover is like the head of the house. I can't think of the name of it, but
Okay.
those are my five black comedy movies. Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. Big city or the country?
I'm a city girl.
Okay.
City me.
Drums or flats?
Drums.
Okay. Blue cheese or ranch?
Ranch.
Lemon pepper or hot?
Hot.
U of M or MSU?
This is sick. U of M.
I tried to sneak it in there. Clearly.
Actually, this is nuanced
Okay.
because it's always go blue for football, but it's always go green, go white for basketball. Sorry. unless we plan each other.
I will take your conditional support as a semi-Spartan. So that's cool. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay. Okay. Eric Mays or Eric Mays?
Eric Mays.
Cool. Because that was the
It
only
might not be
option.
racist, baby, but you definitely Eric Mason.
You handkerchief head Negro.
First of all, if I ever became the mayor of Flint, and I hope this doesn't deter my winnings, but if Eric Mays is still alive, baby, be my chief
He
of
chief of
staff.
staff. Chief of staff. Because I need him to be in all interviews. Make sure this person is right. Please go in there and interview this person.
I
to
want
build
to
a
summon
team.
Eric Mays to come speak to a couple of folk right now.
We need to send Eric Mays down here to Atlanta. We got some things we need to iron out.
First of all, we need to get together and send him an edible arrangement because he deserves.
I'm here for the radical honesty. I'm
Yes.
here for people being an advocate of their perspective. We see it every day in politics where right-wing local politicians can literally say anything that they want. They lead organizations, cities. They have the ability to affect our schools, take away books from students, even in Florida. So someone like Eric Mays is not radical. He's opinionated, and his approach, you deal with it on your own. But we see it all the time in politics. But when Black people are loud about what they believe in, it's problematic, and that's what I don't agree with. So Eric Mays, keep doing you.
Keep doing you, Eric Mays. Keep doing you. I want you to inspire people to speak up, and that's what I do. I try to inspire people to speak up, and like people be so afraid, and I understand because it's your livelihood. But he don't got to be councilman, so he's like, I'm gonna say what I need to say while I'm here.
Okay, Chi-Chi's Green Pack or A10 Tacos?
A10 Tacos, period.
Because
why
the green, I don't understand the infatuation with the Green Pack. I've had it, and it's just, it can do a lot more, and I think A10 Tacos does more, and that's why
I had the Green Pack too. Wasn't impressed.
Neither am I. So with that, La Azteca or La Familia?
Okay, it's both of them, and let me tell you why. It's both of them because La Familia. Okay, in my family, when I was growing up, my grandmother's kids will always come for Christmas, Mother's Day, Easter, and sometimes and Thanksgiving. Sometimes, but if they was with their family, but like that traditionally, that's when we get in my grandmother's lineage. Her flock, her seeds are coming together. And so on Christmas Eve, we will always go get like a 20-pack of tacos from La Familia. Well, sometimes Cookies Tacos, because we be leaving out Cookies Tacos, but Cookies is the mother of both of them.
Where is that?
That's on North Saginaw Street.
To this day?
To this day, Cookies is first, and then La Familia, the Azteca. Cookies is the mother of them.
I've never heard of this until this very moment.
Get somebody to tell you about it. You said I'm a Flint historian? Yes. Cookies Tacos.
This might be a Carmen Ainsworth moment, so I'm going to let you continue.
You were on the bougie side of town. I was on the north side of town. So there's
I like to just call it the west side, but okay.
But no, La Familia. So in my family is history there with La Familia Cookies Tacos. And then I say La Azteca because that's my little sorority sister. Her family owns them, and they were from El Salvador. So La Azteca, actually, where their tacos are made, they're El Salvadorian, and I just know their history and how they got over here, and I rock their family. They are all of these are family-owned businesses, but that's why I say both of them.
Okay, I'm here for that. Another taco-related question because I can't help myself. You're gonna build your ideal taco. What are your ideal taco toppings? What do you put on it?
I'm very simple. My ideal taco toppings are the meat,
meat,
the cheese,
cheese. So your cheese goes right on top of your meat. I know some people put it in the bottom.
I do both. So
Okay.
this is my taco. I got my shell. I'm gonna put my cheese at the bottom, get
Okay.
some meat, put some cheese at the top, put some sour cream, possibly some lettuce, a little bit of cilantro because I love the taste of cilantro. Then I'm gonna put
Mm-hmm.
some taco sauce on the top,
Okay.
and sometimes I might layer it with a few jalapenos. But that's my
Okay.
ideal taco.
Okay. I like that. You sandwich the cheese. I learned something. I don't think
Hmm.
I've ever thought of that.
I'm very cheesy. No pun intended.
I did that pause to see who was gonna laugh first. It was me. Okay. Flint or Dallas?
Both of them.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
So
I hate to say it like that because this is where I have to say both because I
you
didn't found
do.
my husband up in Dallas.
You did, girl.
But guess what? He from Flint and I ain't even know. If y'all been following this, y'all learn my story. I randomly met my husband who happened to be from Flint. So without Dallas, I don't meet my husband who's from Flint. Without Flint, I ain't me. So both.
Okay. I'll give that. All right. So a few Women's History Month, this or that edition. Okay. So Shirley Chisholm or Kamala Harris?
Shirley Chisholm,
All right. Thank you.
100%.
Shaka Khan or Mary J. Blige? Because
The
I
way
got,
Shaka ate Mary J. Blige up for no
oh,
damn reason.
why did she have to take it that far?
For me, it's gonna be Mary J. Blige because I grew up on What's Your 411.
Right.
And I only learned of Shaka Khan because of Whitney Houston's I'm Every Woman. And at the end, she said Shaka Khan. And
Oh.
then I learned about Shaka Khan and Rufus and all that. It's MJB for me.
Okay. All right. Rosa Parks or Harriet Tubman?
Harriet.
Okay. Tell us more.
Because shout out to Rosa Parks, who
And it's not putting black women against each
this
other.
is not
This is
no
not.
shade,
This
no
is not
tea.
that.
But those who historically know, Rosa was not the first to not give up her seat. She just had the most prestige within the community, so they used her clout to move it forward. But shout out to her because sometimes you got to have a little clout to move things the way they need to be moved.
Right.
So
She
there's
was an
nothing wrong with
influencer.
that. So shout out to her. But I'm going to have to say Harriet because she did what needed to be done by any means necessary.
Absolutely.
Like whether you was ready to go or not, we out.
Let's go. And if you
That's
don't want to
it.
go, well, we
You
up
don't want
there.
to go. I feel like Harriet may have low key been from Flint a little bit. she gave me Flint vibes.
I'm gonna go on to the next one and the last one, which is Rihanna or Beyonce.
Huh. Um Beyonce.
Okay. Why?
Because
For any factor.
any factor, because I started off with I'm not in the Beehive, but I started off with Destiny's Child. And you don't get
Okay.
Beyonce without Destiny's Child.
You didn't get Destiny's Child without Matthew Knowles, but okay.
I'm voting for Matthew Knows. If there's no Matthew Knows. Right.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, listen here. You mentioned a little bit about when we were discussing Flint or Dallas, how you met the love of your life. And Tynee is married now. Tynee is married now. Congrats, my
Thanks.
sister. I am so happy for y'all. And so you're going to be approaching 1 year very soon in May. And I know there's a lot of philosophical conversations right now among Black women, especially Black women in their 30s, about, marriage and partnership. So the conversation is shifting. A lot of women are finding new ways to, I guess, address what they want out of relationships. Maybe it's I want to focus on my career and I got Mr. Bowlegs over there, and I deal with, I deal with that when I deal with that. Or some women are going through, there maybe a second marriage or excuse me, a divorce and considering a second marriage. And so I think this is a very interesting age for women in this, late 30s, pre 40s type of vibe. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about your experience and to share something with the single girlies, me included, about, how has that partnership for you in this stage added value to you as a woman?
Come on, add value to me. Alrighty.
I know.
It's so interesting that you asked me this question. It's very apropos. I was in a conversation yesterday, and one of my girlfriends was asking me how I felt about one of her friends approaching dating.
Okay.
And the scenario was my friend hooked her friend up with someone, and the guy, because the guy and the girl in question lived in two different cities, the guy suggested that they meet at a halfway point between both of the cities that they live in.
Okay.
And I personally thought that that was a great gesture because it's not putting pressure on me to come to
Mm-hmm.
you, and you're not pushing pressure on him to come to you, and we're
Mm-hmm.
meeting in neutral ground. Well, the young ladies end up not having the date, and then she told my friend he didn't apply enough pressure. And the young lady in question, I don't know her, but I didn't like this idea of not applying enough pressure. And I kind of know where it stems from, you meaning that the
Mm-hmm.
guy is not putting in enough effort. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like that statement so prematurely
Mm-hmm.
their meet in their encounter. It was
Mm-hmm.
premature for this young lady to say he did not apply pressure when they hadn't even had their meet and greet yet.
Right.
And so I got really upset, and I was like, tell her to apply pressure to herself, to her morals, to her understanding. Apply pressure to getting to know you more and seeking therapy, sis. Because I felt like that comment was unhinged. And a lot of times we use popular social media rhetoric to guide the decisions we make without critically thinking about what is being said and what is actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so this partnership has added value to me in that it allows me to make informed decisions. From the time
Absolutely.
I started dating Terrence, it was an informed decision, and it was my personal decision that I did not want influenced by outsiders. I didn't want it influenced by friends, social
Mm-hmm.
media, anybody. I wanted it to be my clear-cut decision, my gut, my conscience, my mind. And that's how I approached this relationship that turned into a marriage, and it has suited me for the best. It has added value to me because I married a partner who shares my values in community building and the love of Black folk. And when you love Black folk, not just certain Black folk, not just educated Black folk, not just well-to-do Black folk, but the least among us. And he understands that. So that has added value to me, and me understanding, like, don't discard people because they may
Yep.
not be where you are in your thinking, in money, in anything, just even in their evolution of understanding our position in this country and how our position in this country came to be. And so that has added value in me understanding that, and just being more patient with others as he is patient with
Mm-hmm.
me. And so the advice I would give to the girls, those who are dating, that it's okay. Whoopi Goldberg just did an interview where she's been married 3 times. And the interviewer asked her, was she in love in all those marriages? And she said, nope, I didn't love neither one of them. I just married because I thought it was what I was supposed to do to feel normal. So what that
Mm-hmm.
says to me is that she was trying to feel normal, and she was just doing things, anecdotal things that would maybe was prescribed to her through society, as this is what she thought she was supposed to do. So my
Yep.
advice is to know you, and that
Yep.
you can be happy with or without that person. I am happy with my spouse, but if he wasn't here, I know what makes me happy. I
Mm-hmm.
know what I like and what I enjoy. So find something that you like and you enjoy, and still do those things. I enjoy podcasting, and I find that men are attracted to know that you got your own thing, because there's going to be times where they want to be by themselves, and you want to be by yourself, and you want to do your thing.
Yep.
And so have whatever it is you got going on. You might like
Yep.
painting nails.
Yep.
You might like mixing drinks, but
Yep.
have your own hobby, have your own thing outside of your spouse, and then find things that for you and your spouse to be able to do together,
Yep.
enjoy each other and have fun. And lastly, I'll say that is I'm glad that I got married at my big age. I got married at 37, and some people think that's a big age. And I look back and I feel like 20-year-old Tynee would not have been ready.
Yep.
And I remember my childhood hairdresser who did my hair from 7th grade until I was about 22. She got married in her 40s. And I just remember that and how she was happy and how they were like settled in with each other. They were comfortable with each other. There was no pretense. I feel like when you get married in an older age. So to those who feel like, oh my God, I ain't married yet and I'm getting older, like that's just more time of growth for you. And that's
Yep.
more time so you can know what you will put up with and won't. Because in my 20s, I was of the mentality of ride or die. And baby, no ma'am.
Yep.
And I remember one time and jokingly I asked Terrence, are you ride or die for me? And he was like, I'm ride and get injured a little bit, but I ain't dying. So that's what I'm on. I ride and get injured a little bit, baby, but my life is valuable to me. So girls, don't be ride or die.
But that's so key because the thread throughout your entire response centered on values. And it's difficult to understand your values if you haven't paid attention to some of your blind spots, right? I think a lot of relationships are rooted in codependency, right? We still have open mother wounds, father wounds, and these wounds from our hearts being broken. And so you cling to people to, well, I want to ride with you all day long. Why you run your errands, babe? Like, no.
I am that too, because I am a stage 5 clinger. Let girls don't be fooled. Now I
But
like to
that's
be under him.
fine. But I'm sure you also handle some business that day.
Yes.
Okay. And you might trick on him a little bit on the way out. Like I got you something out the store. And I'm gonna keep the change. If you
Definitely
need me
gonna
something,
keep the
I'll keep the
change.
change. But no, values-based dating is so important. It's so important so that you're focused on the right qualities in someone. And social media is really distorting the process of dating. Like, why would a dude drive an hour or whatever this distance is to see you? He don't even know you. If that was my son, I'd be like, son, don't go down there because she's not trying to meet you halfway. She's not
Right.
putting in energy. I think a lot of men are looking to be validated as well. They want to know if my energy is going to be appreciated here. If I drop a seed in this soil, can a plant grow here? They're also looking too. Okay, so evaluating ourselves from a values-based standpoint in dating is so helpful because it pours into you, and then you have the fertile soil that a man may be able to nurture in a marriage or partnership. So it's beautiful that you spoke on that, and I am always rooting for you, love. And so I have really gone through all of my questions. This was a beautiful experience to
It
talk with
was.
you. And I always am thankful for us being brought together so early on in life and how we have continued to grow in sisterhood over time.
I am so appreciative. I thank you for this space. I never think about some of the things that you asked me. I just kind of like go through life a little bit.
Okay.
And so, it's good to always reflect to see how far you've come and the evolution. Like, I'm proud of your evolution from, the little girl that I met as a 9th grader, the little 14-year-old girl, always stylish, always beautiful. You were one of the most beautiful chocolate girls I've ever seen.
Thank you.
That inspired me to like love my chocolateness because I just thought you were
Mm.
so pretty. And that's needed also, to skins and textures and different sizes and all that. And girls, need to know that no matter what size, no matter what shade, like there's beauty within you and outside of you. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, like your evolution is beautiful. Just all the transformations that you've been through a
Thank
lot.
you. Girl, I didn't seen it all. Ain't that what Jesus said? But I think that is also important to reintroduce yourself to your friends. Like I'm in this phase with my friends where I'm learning to open up to let them see me where I am now,
Mm-hmm.
because we're all evolving and learning new things and being placed in scenarios that challenge us, push us, and to grow us even more. And so you're not the same Tynee of 4 years ago. You're not the same Tynee from last year. And so I think that these conversations, even in private with your friends, is good. They're good to have, because you will learn something. I learned something new about what you're into in the community. I think the mental health training is super
Mm-hmm.
cool. I never knew that. I'm gonna ask you about it later. But this was amazing, and I'm really excited for your next chapters and what life brings you.
I'm excited too. I hope that this episode like is inspiring to others. Like I'm really like feeling this episode. Like you did that.
Thank you, girl. I'm just taking notes from you.
Listen, remember we were supposed to start our podcast, Two Flint Girls, and we just never did. But that's okay. That's a testament in itself, because you have ideas and they come and then they go, and then some grow, some seeds you plant, they grow,
Yes.
some fall by the wayside. But it's okay. Just keep moving forward.
But I'm glad you said that to me, because I just had a conversation this morning. I said I have way too many $1 million ideas not to follow through. So for myself, I'm holding myself accountable to nurturing the things that I start. And so, I went on a Two Flint Girls actually recently, and I said, man, this is dope. But as you said, there's a season and time for things. So, success out of season bears no fruit. So
Come
in due
on.
time.
Uh,
I know
that
a
was
few
a
old
gem.
people.
I guess that Michigan State education did pay off for you.
I love my PWI, honey.
All right,
Yes.
Z. I love you so much.
Thank you. Love you, friend.
Bye.
Bye.